Alright guys, welcome to the first story time of All Character, No Defect. Today I'm going to be going back to the year 2017. By this time I was already doing heroin for 1 year. And me and one of my buddies decided to go out to a nightclub one night. I think it was a Thursday or a Friday night, and we decided to do a little bit of heroin and snort a couple oxys and head out. So we're just there vibing. It's probably like 11 o'clock at night, and I decided to go outside to get some air. And as I walk out, I hear this very distinct accent coming from around the corner. So me being me, I had to go investigate. And sure enough, I met this girl from Munich, Germany, and we hit it off pretty well. We talked, and we decided that we would meet up again the next day at the same club. So before going there, I did a bunch of heroin. I went and did a bunch of ecstasy, and then I decided to go meet up with her. And I held my composure well. I remember we were dancing upstairs, and she was doing like this weird, like it was almost like a bird dance. It was like something I've never seen, but I thought it was pretty fucking dope. So, we hit it off. I remember going outside and we started talking about drugs, and she said something along the lines of, yeah, back in Germany, people that do coke are frowned upon, and heroin. And I don't know if I took that as she knew something or not, but I just kind of wrote it off, and then we met up again the next day. So like I said, everything went well. She had to go back home to Germany, and I told her that I was going to go meet her out there. And me being fucked up, I decided I was going to learn German, which never happened. Well, I learned a little bit, but definitely not enough. And I decided I was going to go out in like 3 months from, I believe it was like July or something when I met her, and I was going to go to Germany in like October, around the time of my birthday. So around October, I owned a moving company at the time, and me and some of my moving buddies, keep in mind we all did heroin. I only hired heroin addicts, which was not the smartest thing I've ever done. And we decided to go out one night to a different club in a different city. And at the end, we end up at this party. I remember one of my friends was so lit, he was just like dancing on a table in the kitchen, like doing the meth dance. And I was outside, and I ran into this other girl. She was a party girl, and we ended up hitting it off. And so we exchanged information, and then I would say like 2 weeks later, we met up at a club in Albuquerque. Again, she didn't know I was doing heroin. I was doing pretty well because I had my moving company, and we did a bunch of ketamine, a bunch of ecstasy. It was crazy. And then I hung out with her for 3 days, and I realized, oh shit, I have to go out to Germany now. So I woke up out of a drug-induced sleep. I was staying at, this other girl's house, and I had to go back to my other city to pack all my shit. I didn't pack anything. I did everything in like 20 minutes. And then I headed out to the airport. And keep in mind, when you're doing heroin, you need heroin. And I just said, fuck it, I'm going to go, and I'm just going to wing it and see what happens. I thought about taking some Suboxone with me, but I didn't want to risk it through TSA. So I just went. I get to California, to LAX, I land there. And then the next day, I go back to LAX to I was flying into Amsterdam, and then I was going to take a train to Germany. So the second the plane takes off over the Santa Monica Ocean, I start kicking hard. I start going into withdrawals. I start freaking out. And we're like, I don't know, 30 minutes into a very long flight. And I think about 6 hours in, there was this Asian woman sitting next to me, and I remember I kept falling asleep on her, and her husband was sitting next to me, and she probably woke me up like 9 times, and she kept saying, if you do that again, it's not going to be good. And I just kept doing it, not intentionally, but anyways. So after that, we land in Amsterdam, and I'm starting to think like, oh shit, what did I get myself into? I'm thousands of miles away from home. I know that there are drugs in Amsterdam, but at that point, like I said, it was maybe like a year into my addiction, so I didn't even consider going out to look for anything. So I was supposed to stay out there for 2 weeks. Oh, and keep in mind too, the second I landed, that other girl I was talking about asked, like the one back in my hometown, asked me to be her girlfriend. So I just thought, fuck it, I'm just gonna go back home, get some heroin, and I guess get into a relationship that I was not planning on. And so, like I said, I leave in 2 days. I changed my flight, and then I just took off. And my family got extremely worried because I didn't tell anyone. And at the same time, they had happened to go check on my place and found a box full of used foils. So, they're probably expecting the worst. So I get back home, and I have, this other girl pick me up, and I stayed at her house for about a night kicking, and I hit it pretty well still. I didn't sleep at all that night. But then the next day, it was off to the races. I went back home, which was about an hour away, and instantly my dealers picked me up, and that was the start of a crazy addiction and a crazy relationship.